So there's been a couple people asking about PS2 coverage on the Retro Pocket Mini V2. I figured I'd just take a moment to play a couple games. So here's some Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3, one of my favorite games as a kid. Runs really good on this device, plays really well. Would highly recommend playing it on this device. It's a great PS2 emulator, or a great PS2 device, generally speaking anyway. So definitely highly recommended. And let's hit him with a Spirit Bomb. Ew. Yeah, still definitely one of the best Dragon Ball games ever made. And I have played Budokai 1, 2, 3, Budokai 1, Budokai Tenkaichi 1, Budokai Tenkaichi 2. Tenkaichi 2 was the only one that had some tiny little problems, and I think that was because I had a specific setting turned off, which was, if I can find it, I believe it was the hardware download mode. I had it set to ignore transfers, or I'm sorry, disable readbacks, one or the other. The idea being that it'll help the game run at full speed. And generally speaking, this is going to run at full speed. I will say that I'm in the standard performance mode with Smart Fan turned on, and I am at a 1x resolution. On a screen this big, you're not, or at least I personally am not too finicky about the resolution, so I just play the native resolution. I do have it stretched to the aspect ratio of the Mini V2, and it looks great. You know, totally serviceable, absolutely playable. Love playing PS2 on this device. Hit him with one more Spirit Bomb, and then we'll play something else. So moving a little bit closer for this one, but this is God of War 2, and on this device it runs super well. We can see how much overhead I have. Again, this is at a 1x resolution, and I don't know if you can hear the fans kick up, but they're definitely kicking up, and we are at 171% speed, which basically means there's 70% overhead. Totally serviceable, really fun to play on this. I will say this is God settings, so you'll have to forgive me. Yeah, look at that. I'm actually succeeding. Oh, ow, ow. There you go. Yeah, the buttons are clacky, but as you're playing a game, to be honest, it doesn't really bother me. But if it is a problem for you, totally understandable. Long story short, this game runs great. I would highly recommend it, and I would highly recommend this device, generally speaking, when it comes to PS2 games. And of course, there's going to be some games that just give the system issue, like any system that it would give an issue. I mean, I have difficulty playing Sly II on the Odin 2 Portal or the Steam Deck. So, not a huge surprise that it gives a bit of an issue when playing on this, but let's see if we encounter any slowdown. I can see this number at the top here going red every now and then. Don't really know how clear it is on camera, but right there, it went red. That's an indication that it's going, or if ever it goes below 100%, that's an indication that it's slower, and that's not a great thing to see. That being said, if you can put up with a few slowdowns in a game, it's not really the end of the world. If you're used to any sort of secret console emulation, this is not really new territory or anything like that. So aside from the occasional slowdown, this game, as far as I've played it, runs okay. I wouldn't recommend playing this. I wouldn't recommend playing PS2 on anything other than native on this handheld, simply because the screen is so small. Unless you're like a really big pixel peeper, you're probably not going to be able to tell. And it's entirely serviceable. You might also save a little bit of battery life. All those things kind of go into account. And let's finish off with one of my favorite games of all time, GTA 3. Love this game. I feel like it's underloved, but really great game, really fun, super comfortable on this device. The fact that you can use a D-pad to move around. I think in San Andreas you can't, and the PSP games you can't. Could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that's true. That being said, Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, maybe Vice City Stories, and Liberty City Stories, you're able to move with the D-pad, so this device is super comfortable for those games. And it runs great. I didn't have to make any special settings or anything like that. I kind of just booted it up at 1x resolution. Plays well. Looks pretty good with the full screen. I was doing Vigilante before this, but runs perfectly well. I would absolutely play through the entire game this way. So like I say, this device is really, really nice for PS2. It's good for a lot of systems you're probably interested in, but the fact that I can play it up to PS2 makes me really comfortable recommending this. It's a good price point. It has really good and surprising battery life, given its form factor and how small it is. The only things that you really have to take into account is that aspect ratio, which works really well for anything that was 4:3. It's a 16:9 content you just have to be worried about, like PSP. That being said, PS2 runs great, would absolutely recommend it. If you like the video, feel free to comment and subscribe and all that fun stuff. And if you didn't like it, feel free to leave a dislike. But until next time, you have a good one.